In this video, we're going to be setting up Facebook lead ads or meta lead ads in combination with Gohighlevel and the conversion API. That means the CAPI that is able to send the data back to Facebook so that it can find better quality leads. Now, this video is a little bit more technical than my previous videos, but it's perfect if you're running any sort of Facebook lead ad for any sort of home service lead generation. Everything from home cleaners to flooring epoxy to house painters, etc. If you're doing any sort of local lead generation, this is going to be what you want to set up in order to get better quality leads, in order to make more profitability off your ads and lower your cost. Now, before I get started, I want to walk you through what the entire process looks like, just so that you have an idea of what you can expect to set up here and why we're setting things up this way. Now, what you're looking at here is a Facebook ad. So the very first thing we're going to do is set up a Facebook ad. When the leads come in through that Facebook lead ad, all the leads are then going to go into Gohighlevel, where our automation is going to take over from there and instantly respond to those leads on our behalf. So it doesn't matter if we're busy, or it doesn't matter if it's 12 o'clock at night or we can't get to the leads. We're going to really be maximizing all the opportunities when we connect things to Gohighlevel. So all the leads are going to come in. Gohighlevel is going to categorize those leads in a pipeline so that you know exactly how many new leads come in and what the cost of those leads are. Then Gohighlevel is going to send the first message on our behalf, a text message, and it's going to follow up with your leads instantly. Then all the leads are added to a pipeline where you can see here, I've got different pipelines in here, but I'm just going to pick one to show you what this looks like. We've got a pipeline. All the new leads that come in are categorized under new leads. Then we have leads that we've booked calls with, those that we've sent agreements to, those that are onboarding, those that are active, and those that are not qualified, or for whatever reason we decided not to work with them. So what we want to do here after this is set up an additional step that is going to take all the active clients and all the qualified leads and notify Facebook that these are the people that we're looking to get more of, so that Facebook can then start to optimize our lead ad and deliver better quality leads into our system so that we can close more of those opportunities. Now, I've got links to all the resources that I mentioned in this video. They're going to be in the description of this video. In that description, there's going to be a link to getting a free trial of Gohighlevel. If you're not on Gohighlevel already, I suggest you highly get on Gohighlevel. And if you decide to go through that affiliate link, you're going to get my exact workflows that we use here, that we set up for all of our clients, so you don't have to build it from scratch. But if you're already on Gohighlevel, there's also a link there where you can go ahead and snag this snapshot and use it in your own account. So make sure you go ahead and check those out. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we are in Gohighlevel and we have to connect our Facebook ad accounts and our Facebook page to the system. And in order to do that, you're going to log into your Gohighlevel account and you're going to click on settings. And from settings, you are going to click on integrations. And in integrations, you are going to see a Facebook / Instagram account connection here. What you want to do from here is click connect. This is basically going to open up your Facebook page, and you must allow all permissions to go through to the pages before you can actually connect to this. Once you have this, you'll be allowed to select your ad account that you've got in here. More than likely, you're not going to have 100 like me. And then you will be able to select which page you want to connect to the Gohighlevel system. When you've successfully done that, it's going to look like this. The icons will light up in their respective colors, and you're going to be able to see the correct ad account and the page that you have selected. All right, so now that we've done this, the very next thing that we're going to do is we are going to be setting up our Facebook lead ad. So from the inside of Ads Manager, you want to click on Create. That's the green button on the left hand side, and you're going to come up with the objective section here. The objective that you want to choose is leads, and you want to click continue. From here, Facebook's going to build out the ad structure. We have a campaign, an ad set, and a lead section. At the campaign level, just simply give this a name that makes sense to you. If you're running special ads category, that means housing, credit repair, that kind of stuff, employment. You want to make sure you can declare that in here. If not, for 99% of you, it's not going to be necessary. One thing that I do always turn off, at least in these demonstrations, it's going to be Advantage Budget. That's going to be for another video where I'll explain how to use that properly. But for now, just know that we shut this off. The next thing that you're going to want to do is go to lead ad set. And this is where you'll actually be setting up your budget. This is where you're going to be setting up your audience. And I do want to cover this a little bit in more detail because there are some changes that took place, at least in the last few months, that I've noticed that makes this area a little bit different from the previous setups. Now, if you are in my mini workshop, if you purchased the Local Lead Mastery workshop before and you're coming back to watch this video, just know that I will be updating that workshop in the next day or so. So it's going to have all new information in there based on what we're seeing right now. If you haven't done that, go ahead and check that out. It's in the description of this video. One thing that you're going to want to do is come here to the conversion section and make sure that the lead form, instant form objective is what's actually set up here. So this is going to be where that conversion location needs to happen. Because we set up lead ads, we want to actually select instant forms for our conversion location. Next, you're just going to verify and make sure that you're in the right page. This is not going to be an issue for you if you've got one page, but if you're somebody like me who manages hundreds of accounts, then you may have multiple pages. Make sure that you've selected that. Here, you'll plug in whatever your daily budget is for your ads, and then head on over to the audience control section. Now, from here on out, there are a few things that have changed with Facebook or Meta recently in the last few months that I really want to cover in here. One of those things is going to be the minimum age. So the very first thing that we're going to do is going to click on locations and type in your service area. Now, these videos that I do are typically for local lead generation. They're going to be for home service businesses, whether you own a floor and epoxy company, a real estate agency, a painting company, junk removal, driveway and cleaning, etc. Any one of those local home service companies. It's not going to be for e-commerce where you're selling socks on the internet or anything like that. So this is specifically for home service businesses. So enter the area that you service. Basically, if you're a brick and mortar, then it's going to be a radius within your address, but if you're a home service company, enter the areas of town that you provide service in. Now, the next location, or the next item I should say, that you're going to go to is going to be minimum age, and this is where things actually have changed. If you notice here, under minimum age, there is no way for me to select an age range above 25. Okay, so Facebook basically, or Meta is basically telling me the starting age range that you can select for your ads is the oldest 25. Well, as you know, 99% of home service businesses, this is not your ideal age range. The typical 18 to 25-year-old is not out there buying pool cleaning services. They're not out there buying garage proxy services. They're not out there buying, getting quotes for pools to be built or roofing repair or anything like that. So it basically kind of limits us here to 25. Now, this is a new feature that they call Advantage audiences, basically, where they are trying to prioritize the audience and trying to let their machine identify the audience for you. The issue with this that I'm seeing right now is that for home service businesses, this is not the ideal audience. So I don't want to spend the budget and I don't want to spend money advertising to 18-year-olds who are never going to buy my product. So one thing to note is that you can't change that in here unless you go down to this area that says Advantage Budgeting and you go and you switch to the original audience. Now, once I click on switch to the original audience, Facebook is going to give me a warning that says that, hey, it's up to 33% lower cost if I leave it alone there. But however, my audience is typically not 18-year-olds, so I, for the most part, go ahead and divert back to the original audience. Now, this is not to say that in the future, Meta is going to make this mandatory. There have been other changes that we've noticed in the past where Meta started out this way and then they just made it mandatory to where you couldn't change it. It's no problem. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Your ad copy does most of the heavy lifting anyways, so it's not really even something to worry about, but it is something to take note when you're setting this up. Okay, so now that we've switched back to the original settings, we can come in here and we can choose our minimum age range in here. So from here, pick the minimum age range that you and your services offers. And there's a few other details in here that you can add. So for example, gender, demographic, language details, behaviors, etc. You get to pick those in here as well. Now, the next thing that you want to do is going to be placements. Now, typically we are not allowing automatic placements. We're changing this up as well, but click on edit and you can see which placements you want to show. So in my case, I don't want to show the audience network and I don't want to show network rewarded videos. I just simply want to keep it alone. But if you can see that there's no other option in here to choose whether or not I want to show this on Instagram or desktop feeds and etc. I like a little bit more control over this because if I don't have an Instagram account, I don't want to show Instagram ads because the format needs to be a little bit different. The creative is usually different. The call to actions, the text that you write in the ad is different. And so I want to make sure that I have control over that. So in order to switch back to the original view, just click switch to manual placements. And this is going to give you an area where you can choose which placements you want to show your ad in. Once you have that, make sure that you choose your placements appropriately and then click on new lead ad in order to set up your ad. So in this section here, this is where your lead ad is going to start to take shape. We're going to go ahead and click on the ad setup section in here, and I like to choose single image or video, but you can choose whatever you like. Multi-advertiser, I leave it on usually. I don't mess with that. And then I come in here and I add my image or my video. So I'm going to click on add image. It's going to open up the media library, and from here I'm going to get to pick the image that I want to advertise in. The next thing is going to be your primary text, your headline, and your description. You're going to want to put your offer in here where the primary text is. Once you've entered those details in here, the next thing is going to be your call to action. Make sure that this matches what you want people to do. So if you are a home service business and you want people to get a quote for, let's say, cleaning or pool services, then you want to choose get quote. If you are maybe promoting an offer like a Black Friday offer or holiday offer, then you want to choose get offer as well, right? So those are the kind of things that you want to keep in mind. So I'm going to just choose, for mine, I'm just going to choose learn more, but you can choose one that's appropriate to your business. From here, this is the section where we are going to create our lead ad form. Now, I do want to say something about the lead ad forms. Typically in the past, and there are people around right now who claim that lead ads are very low quality. I find that the majority of times it's because they've left the lead ad blank and they just gather the information that Facebook pre-populates in the ad and they have no pre-qualifying questions. And oftentimes I also find that another reason is because they have zero follow-up, and by the time they try to get to these leads, it could be a day, 3 hours later, and they've already lost those leads to begin with. All problems that Gohighlevel solves, and the CAPI integration that we're going to put solves as well. It provides high quality leads, and it addresses the speed to lead that most small business have problems with. So the very first thing that we're going to do here is, as you can see, I have several forms that I've got in here. In order to create a new form, just click on create form, and this is going to open up. You can go ahead and name your form anything that you like, and there are a few other options in here for the forms that have recently started to pop up. More volume, higher intent, and rich creative. Rich creative basically allows you to sort of build a almost mini web page when somebody clicks that form, giving people more reasons to fill out their information. I'm going to choose on more volume, and I'm just going to click intro here and start filling out the information that I need. So headline, you basically want to tell people what they need to do next. If it's get a quote for maybe an AC repair, then go ahead and click get quote. If it's a quote for maybe pergola building, go ahead and select that, along with an additional piece of text. Usually I like to say something like, tell me about your project, if it's like a home improvement project or something like some home service business. Next is going to be questions, and you do not want to leave these questions like this. Okay, these are the pre-filled questions, meaning Facebook is going to pre-populate these questions based on the information that these accounts have loaded into Meta. So what you want to do is ask for questions that you need. Essentially, if you're lead generating, you're going to probably need name, you're going to need email, you're going to need phone number. In some industries, you might even need an address, or you might even need a zip code, depending on what you're doing. But what you really want to do in here is add custom questions. So you want to add more custom questions that prompt the users to enter or answer those questions in here, so that they have to jump through a little bit more hoops in order to submit the form. So I went ahead and added a question here so you can see what that looks like. This is going to be a custom question. And then when they click and they fill out this form, it's going to go to next, and their information is going to be pre-populated in here. And then they're going to get to a private policy section, and they're going to submit the information here. Okay, that's at that point that they become a lead. So next thing that you want to check is private policy. You cannot run these type of ads without a private policy link. So just head on over to your website, copy the private policy link that corresponds to your business, paste it in here, and move on to the last message. Once you have this done, go ahead and click create form, and it's going to put it in here. Now I got to tell you that with these forms, you don't get an opportunity to go back and edit them. Once you create this form, it's created, and if you messed up, you've got a typo, or you want to change something, you're basically going to have to create another form, clone that form, go back and change the things that you messed up on, and save it as a new form. So if you want to save it as a draft and come back and edit it later, you can, but once you're done, click on form create, and it's going to look something like this. You're going to have your forms that you can pick from right then and there that are going to be connected to your ad. Now, once you have an ad set up this way, all you need to do is click publish, and this ad is going to go up for review on Facebook. And when the ad starts to run, then you're going to get a notification from Facebook. All right, so now that we have our ad set up, we are going to go into Gohighlevel and make sure that we have the form mapped to the proper fields, and everything is going to be tied to this ad. Now, inside of Gohighlevel, what you want to do is from the left-hand pane, go down to settings on the bottom right, and then choose the integration option. This is going to bring you to this section where you have hopefully already connected your Facebook page with your ad account and the page that you want to run ads from. If you haven't done that, you're going to go ahead and click this button that says connect and follow the steps to connect that. From here, what you want to do is click on this option that says map form fields on the top navigation bar, and this is going to take you to an area that shows you all the forms that you've got built into Facebook. And this is what those forms look like here. Any form that you've got built in here that has a status of on, basically it's active mapping, it's already integrated with Gohighlevel. By default, the forms are not mapped and the fields are not mapped, and you're going to have to come in here and map these fields, or those leads are not going to flow into Gohighlevel. Now, one thing to note in here is that when you select the access to the pages and to the ad account, you need to have full admin rights. A lot of times I hear people saying my forms and my lead ads are not flowing into Gohighlevel, and 9 times out of 10, it's a user error issue. They've either locked the leads up, or they don't have admin privileges in order to map those forms onto Gohighlevel. So I'm going to look at this one here that says converted form, and I'm going to go ahead and map it. Basically, if this is the form that we set up, we're going to click on map form fields, and these are all the forms that all the fields that are in my form, including custom fields. Okay, so one thing to note is that make sure your last name, first name, full name, inbox URL, that's going to be the ID, are all mapped in here, and the phone number, email address, and if you have a custom question in here, you're going to have to select this from your custom question drop down box in here. So in order to map a custom question, you are going to have to create a custom question in a contact field of Gohighlevel, and then map that custom field right here. Okay, once you do this, you can click save, and now that form is going to be mapped. Now, the next thing that we want to do is make sure that our lead ad that we just created is tied to our automation so that we don't lose any of the leads that come our way. Like I mentioned before in this video, all the resources are going to be linked in the description. I also have a link to this exact snapshot that you're looking at right now, which is what we use for all of our local home service clients. We have a few workflows in here that cover website forms and simple chatbots that can help you close more deals, along with all of our Facebook workflows so that you don't have to recreate them from scratch. We have a missed call text back automation, appointment reminders, and a few other goodies in here. So you can definitely build this yourself, but if you want to save some time, you can check out the links in the description of the video. So basically what I do here is I want to pick my workflow that I want to connect to my lead ad. So here's what it's going to look like in the updated interface for Gohighlevel. Basically, I choose that automation. I click on form trigger and Facebook lead form is submitted, and I get to choose the forms that are mapped. So if I tell Facebook that I want, demo 1 form to be the trigger for this automation, I select it and I click save trigger. Now what ends up happening here is that Gohighlevel goes through all these steps. Basically, it adds a tag. It creates an opportunity in a main pipeline, gives it a value, puts the lead in there, and it notifies me via email, and it sends the lead notifications. Hey, this is John with ABC Junk Removal. We noticed that you submitted a form on Facebook. If this is something that you still need, or I just want to verify your phone number, just reply yes, and we'll go ahead and get you scheduled right away. Right? So once this goes through, it's a little bit more of a technical setup in here, because if they reply yes, we want them to continue the conversation and eventually schedule them for an estimate. If they respond no, or if there's no reply, we want to follow up with them via voicemail, via SMS, via email, all the way until they say they're not interested or they are interested in our services. So what happens here is that all the leads that come in through Facebook are now going to be imported into your Gohighlevel CRM. From here, Gohighlevel is going to do its magic, and it's going to instantly follow up with those people via text, via email. It's going to try to pre-qualify them. It's going to try to verify and make sure that data is good. And it's going to put them in a pipeline, basically categorize those leads as they come in. From here, as you book calls and as you land jobs and you close more business, these accounts are going to move from new lead all the way to booked appointments, to agreement, to onboarding clients, etc. And then we are going to have to send this information back to Facebook and tell Facebook, hey, out of all the leads that you've delivered, these bunch right here are gold. And we want you to take this gold and we want you to put it through your machine, and we want you to deliver more gold for us. We want more leads that are like these high quality leads that you've delivered to us. That's basically the next step. That is the conversion API setup that now we're going to do in the following step. Now, in order to do this, we need to go back into our Facebook Ads Manager, and on the left-hand pane, we're going to hover over the hamburger menu there, and we are going to choose All Tools. From All Tools, you're going to go and choose Events Manager. Once you're in Events Manager, make sure that on the top right-hand corner, you have selected the proper ad account that you want to set this up on. Once you verify that, come down to the left-hand pane, and there are going to be some options in here. What you want to do is click on Connect Data Sources. And so what we're going to be doing is clicking on CRM. From here, I'm going to click Connect, and it's basically going to give me sort of a little warning. Now, if you do not have a pixel, you are going to have to set up a pixel. I find that 9 times out of 10, most small businesses already have a pixel set up, or if you're actually doing this, you might be a little bit more technically advanced, and you may already have a pixel set up for that business. But basically, Facebook is going to give you some information in here, and it's going to give you some best practices, right? So it tells you that if you're generating at least 250 leads per month, this really will work for you, and you can have conversion rates between 1 and 40%. Now, this is more of a guideline, I feel, because we definitely have campaigns running that are not generating 250 leads per month, and they're doing well. This is working out really well for them. And we have some that are generating way over that, and those are doing well. So I just wanted to kind of point this out. Just kind of read through this if you like. Next thing that I'm going to do is click Next. and it's going to ask me which pixel I want to set up with, right? Now, if I don't have a pixel, obviously I'm going to have to create a new pixel. So on this screen, I'm going to click continue where it says choose your CRM. And it's basically going to ask me what CRM I want to choose. And I'm going to find Lead Connector. I'm going to go here and I'm going to choose the Lead Connector CRM. And then I'm going to choose this one that says third-party integration. So there's no code required for me. Okay, so now we need to send a CRM event to here in order to connect to that. So in order to do that, we need to go back to high level, click on automations, and choose our automation that is connected to our lead form. So from here, what we want to do is click on opportunities and allow duplicate opportunities. We want to save that action. Then the next thing you want to do is click on settings. Make sure that allow re-entry is selected and click on save. Now, once you do that, we are going to be building one more workflow, and that is going to be the Facebook API workflow. Now I'm going to click this one in here and show you what this looks like. Basically, what we want to do is we want to tell Facebook, we want to tell the system, when an opportunity leaves a stage, when they become a new lead but they enter into a different category, a booked appointment or a qualified lead, we then want to send that to Facebook so that they can give us more of those people. So what we want to do here is click on new workflow and add the trigger, and we want to say opportunity. So opportunity changed in the pipeline that we chose here. So opportunity changed in my main pipeline, and it had a pipeline stage, and it went from new leads basically to active clients, or booked appointments. So I'm just going to say booked appointments here, and then just click save. The next thing that I want to do is click one more point here and do Facebook, and you can see the Facebook conversion API is going to be here. So from here, basically you can name this whatever you want, but I'm going to choose a lead event, and I'm going to give it a token from my pixel ID, and a stage name. So we go back to Facebook, and we are still inside of Events Manager, and from within settings, you're going to scroll all the way down to the area that says generate access token. This is going to be under the conversion API section. There's going to be a few options in here, but you'll definitely want to choose generate access token. Go back into high level and go here where it says access token, and just paste that token right there. Then we're going to go back to the settings. We're going to copy our pixel ID and come back and paste it into Facebook. Once you do this, go ahead and click on save action, save this, go to settings and enable allow re-entry, and publish this. Now you can see that our Facebook API is here, and what we need to do is one final step is really test it and make sure that everything is working as it should. In order to do this, we are going to have to submit a test form to our lead form. All right, so I'm going to choose the form that I want in here, and I think the form that I chose was demo form 1, and I'm going to create a lead for that form. All right, so I'm back into the main pipeline here, and I can see the dummy lead is right there. For Facebook right there. And if I look at conversations in here, you'll be able to tell that my automation's already actually kicked in, and they probably sent this guy a text message. So what happens now is the leads start to come in, you start to have conversations with these leads, automation starts to go back and forth, and then you eventually end up with a qualified lead that ends up booking an appointment with you, or booking for a quote, or even booking for a job. So typically they get moved into the booked call section, and this is where now that data is going to go back to Facebook, letting them know that this is a good quality person and you want more people like this. Now that we move this in here, the next step is to actually go to automations, and let's just check to make sure that we actually had an action in our API. So here is our automation, and you can see that one total person was enrolled. If I click it here, I could tell now that this is working perfectly. We had an opportunity change. Somebody went through here and that data got fed back into Facebook. We can look at the enrollment log, and there's that test lead right there, and it went back to Facebook. And as you can see, now that I came back over here, you can see that the lead was successfully processed through CRM, through Lead Connector, and back into Facebook. So this is it for the setup of this. I know this was a little bit technical, but if you follow this video along in the proper steps, you're going to end up with much better lead quality from those lead forms, higher profitability, and lower cost when you run things and set this up the proper way. So let me know if you have any comments or questions And if this video was super helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing.